Ooh. Jeremy, thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, well, I know we just talked, electrical a bit in a webinar that you did. We're talking licensing and whatnot, but you kind of popped up this week and wanted to show me something on reports that I guess comes up for you fairly often when you're running projects. Is that like a every project thing, or for some reason this came to top of the list for you?
Yeah, I mean, bills of material can be important at times, make sure that you have the right part whenever you're designing a schematic is fairly important.
Okay, so I mean, I make bombs all the time in SolidWorks. I guess you could call that a report. Is that
That's absolutely
analogous? All
correct.
right, so electrical, we're talking like parts list, bill of materials. We'd call those reports.
Correct. Also wires. So you can have a wireless, which is a report as well.
Okay. So I guess, I mean, a bomb I use mainly to me for like ordering stuff, but then also pointing out things on a drawing for when people assemble things. That's like my main use of them. Same deal over here?
Same deal. The only time that you're really going to use balloons in electrical is if you have a panel layout and you're doing a bill of material. Um, but that's more specific to 2D panel layouts. I want to talk today about bills of material and wireless.
Okay, those two things in particular. Do you use those in pretty much every project?
Pretty much, yeah. Whether you're using a wireless that has wire numbers, or if you're going to integrate with a wire labeling machine, wireless are pretty important, just as important as a bill of material on the mechanical side.
Okay. Are you kicking these out a lot and sending them off to other softwares and other like departments?
Yeah, it could be integrating with the mechanical side to figure out what electrical components we're going to need to add to that bill of material, or how much wire we need to order, how much cable we need to order. So yeah, it's other departments, order entry team, and mechanical department.
Okay, I'm with you. There's a lot of parallels to my world. Um, One thing I have to do very little of on my side is customizing bill of materials until I mean I'll pick some different columns so I can map some different properties into them. But other than that, the only time I have to do a lot of customizing is if somebody's like going into some MRP system, ERP system, and we need to like tweak it up because we use a totally different format and different names for stuff. How much customizing do you need to do here to get these two reports? Wireless, bill of materials, or is it default?
There's some default reports, but you can customize them further. If you wanted to integrate with an MRP or ERP system, you can do that in electrical. That might be a good topic for another day. But if you need to add a column very similar to what you're doing in regular SolidWorks mechanical, we can do that as well, and I'll show examples of that.
Okay, well, shoot, let's dig in then. I'll pull up your screen here,
Awesome.
and looks like you got the schematic program open.
Yeah, so this schematic program is tied to a 3D assembly. So if I jump over here into SolidWorks, you're going to see that same component list on the left-hand side, and then you'll see some wires have been routed. These wire routes are routes essentially using SolidWorks premium routing. You can kind of see those highlighted here.
Yep.
So the wires have been routed in three-dimensional space so that we get wire lengths. So that's going to push into our wire report.
Ah, so there's information coming back from the 3D side to the 2D. Okay,
Absolutely correct. So back over here in 2D, where all the sausage is made. So this is where all the cool stuff happens, Philip.
I guess.
Uh,
In 2D, sure.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So what I want to do here is I want to generate some of these reports. Now, I really like these reports because I used to spend a lot of time doing these reports at the end of a project, generating bills of material, figuring out how much wire we used. We used the pull and guess method. Are you familiar with that, Philip?
I mean, it's if it's what it sounds like, I think so.
Yeah, you just using a piece of string, like, all right, that long, yep, that
Okay,
long,
for
and
sure.
then measuring the string. Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets you close enough, but unfortunately, if you cut it too short, I lost our wire stretcher, so definitely want to get to the right length.
Wire stretcher.
Now, yeah, so I'm going to generate a drawing here, and I'm going to generate a bill of material, a list of wires, and a list of cables. So
Okay.
these are three reports that used to take me hours.
Are these so? These are three different ones. What I'm thinking you're doing here is like if I make a bill of materials in SolidWorks, I'm choosing like, oh, pick my bill of materials template, my standard one, or pick my Weldment cut list template. That's what these generally are, like the format, what columns are going to be in there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if you want other reports, you can hit this add button and then you can add other reports that are part of your environment. So if you have custom reports that you want to add in, like IO lists or just a list of all the tags inside of a project, then we can customize
List
this
of
and you can build.
accessories, list of tags with cable cores. This is cool. So are these ones that come with the software and then you customize, or are these all custom stuff you've built?
All the red ones are built into the software. Any green ones are specific to this report or this project.
This project. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there's some color coding. So if you're colorblind, then we can change some of those settings.
Sure.
Uh, but what I want to do is generate these. So I'm going to hit this generate drawings button, and we're going to go here to bill of material, a list of wires, and a list of cables, and then hit OK. Now let's think about how long it would take you to generate a bill of material for an entire project. Longer than that, right?
Yeah, if you're doing it manually, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be
for
ridiculous.
sure. Yeah, in other CAD systems, when you're done with the project, that's when you have to go with a fine-tooth comb and figure out how many parts did you use? How many connectors are there? How many pins are there? Where with electrical, that's all inherently known inside this project.
Sure.
So it says that it successfully generated them. So we can close this and close that window. You'll see that we have a number of pages that have been added to our report
Okay.
or report pages that have been added to our project. I'm going to go to this bill of materials and we're going to take a look at it. Now, this is put down on whatever template you have. So I would encourage you to have the correct title block for your reports. Now, if I zoom in, you'll see it says ABB
Hmm.
and then Allen Bradley, and then it has a reference, which is part number. If you were to right click on it, you can go to that specific manufacturer part.
Oh, that's nice. So it's like a hyperlink. It's like
Yeah,
cross-reference.
that's exactly right. Same thing with the mark. So this S2, I can go to that component and I can even go to the symbol that represents S2 and it highlights it for me.
Ooh. What
So
if
it's
it's
super
used,
handy.
if it's a bill of materials, what if it's used more than once? Does it say quantity of two, or it's still one?
Yeah, it'll say quantity of two. If we come to the second page, you'll see that I have a connector that's used twice
Uh,
and it lists it as C1, C2.
I gotcha. Okay, and so then you can jump to both of those.
Correct.
Cool.
Whichever one you go to, so you'll see that there's a C1 and a C2, and you can go to those uh, manufacturer parts, the components, or even if there's a 3D model, you can jump to that as well.
Oh, nice. And I guess that's
Now, I want to take,
across, sorry to interrupt, but is that across
no,
sheets?
that's fine.
Because one of the things with electrical, you have so many sheets here. So like, does
Mhm.
it show if you use it on like three different, you know, documents, I guess I should call them?
Yeah,
Okay.
so like CR1, if I go to this one, you'll see that there's three different symbols that represent it. On page 4, column 2, row 17, page 4, column 1, 11, 4, 2, and 18.
Whoa.
So these three symbols all are representative of this one physical device of CR1.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can connect that now. Because I've seen symbols like you have your single line diagram, you probably have a simple symbol. Then you get deeper in
Mhm.
power control. You get, okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, and you can see that over here in the component list too. So if I were to go to one of these components like CR1, you're going to see that there's three what we call multi-line schematic symbols and then a line diagram symbol. So there's really four symbols and a 3D model that represent this device.
That's pretty sweet. I mean, that's sometimes how I use configurations in SolidWorks, where I have one part file, maybe four configurations of it, like extended, shortened, simplified for a big assembly. You know, it's represented different, but it's the same thing in the BOM. It's one part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, and you can do that even from the component list here. You can double click that one, takes you to the relay coil. Double click this one, it's three pole normally open contact. And then you double click this one, and it's this single auxiliary contact. So all of those are CR1s, and they're all wrapped up, and it knows that all of those are this one device of CR1 in the bill of material.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, in this bill of material, what I want to do is I want to add some information. Maybe we have a customer facing part number and we don't want to sell or tell our customers these part numbers because we want them to purchase it from us, so we're going to give them our part number. Now, what I can
Yeah.
do is I can even go in and just like custom properties. So inside of a SOLIDWORKS drawing, you would add a custom property and then add a column tied to a custom property, right?
Right.
Well, what we can do is we can go to the manufacturer part for this. And if I pull that up, I can then go to this. You'll see it says ABB. There's that part number. You'll see that there's an article number field. This article number is built into the software. And I can say that this is ABC123. I mean, you're seeing me make this change right here. I
Yeah,
can then hit
yeah.
OK. It will ask me, do I want to update my catalog? Essentially, do you want to update your library so all of them use this moving forward, or do you want to only modify this one? I put some generic data in here, so we're going to say modify this component only. But notice that it does not show that anywhere. It just says quantity, description, mark, and reference.
Right.
So if I want to change this, I have to change the report. So I have, very similar to changing your
Yeah,
table
you got to get
in
the
a bill of
column, get a
materials.
new column in there that says the attribute.
Correct. That's exactly correct. So there's a lot of parallels to the SOLIDWORKS drawing. So we're going to go in here to this button that says Edit Report Configuration. And this tells the software how this report is generated. So you'll see all the columns that we have. So report row, so it's just a counter. And you can see kind of a preview up top of what this report's going to look like. Reference, mark, description, quantity. Now there's a lot more information that we could display because SOLIDWORKS Electrical is SQL based. All of that information for this project is stored in SQL tables somewhere.
Hmm.
Now there's a scary button down here in the bottom left that says activate expert mode. And I
Yeah,
did stay at Holiday Inn
okay.
Express, so we can consider ourselves an expert. So let's say, yeah, we know
This
SQL
requires
language. We're
advanced
not going to break
knowledge
anything.
about project database. Yeah, they made it extra scary, so I don't know.
Yeah, it adds an extra tab. It says SQL query.
Okay.
So and SQL is SQL. So anytime you see
Yeah.
SQL, it's
I mean, I used to be a
SQL.
lot more afraid of SQL until the advent of, these AI languages, and now I mess around with SQL queries because I just ask it like a complete dummy what to do, and it generally tells me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's rules to the tables, and as long as you play by the rules, you're okay. Now, it kind of to parry off of that, I, because there's so many tables behind the scenes inside SolidWorks Electrical, they created what's called extended views. These extended views are groupings of pieces of information that's already added into the join statement. And not to get super deep into like SQL query theory or anything, you'll see that this one is bolded. This view manufacturer parts EX. EX is an extended view, which is the categorization that we're under.
Mm.
And if I were to expand anything that's in this bolded group, you can add into this report as necessary. All right. Now, I don't want to get too deep into that. We already have all the information that we need, and you can actually see the join statement over here. If you hit edit, it even looks like SQL.
Yeah.
So if there's something that you need that's not part of the original statement, then you can come in here and you can find something. Maybe you want to come in and find like, the terminal strip that it's located on or its location ID. All you got to do is double click this and it will also add into this query.
Oh.
Now, when you make a change, Philip, not if, but when you make a change, make sure that you hit test. Because if you back out of this and the query is broken, there's no way to fix it. However, if you hit test, it will test the query. And as long as you see this, you're golden. You're good to go. Now, this is something that I use, and I use like a tool in my back pocket. This is essentially a flat 2D text version, like a database version of everything inside this project.
Okay.
Each column is every single field inside of a manufacturer part. So you'll see all the BOM references. So these are all the components.
Uh-huh.
And then you'll see everything inside of it. So what book is this part of? What page is it on? What is this component tag?
So is this
And if you side, go ahead.
oh, is this like all the information that could be in a report then? It's like pulling pieces of
Yes,
this. Okay. Depending on your report
correct.
template, it's like I'll get some of this, put it there.
Correct. Now, this is actually this query that we're looking at behind the scenes. This is that query. So if you were to add something into the query, it's going to add it all the way down here at the right. So you see the last one is bomb weight. And so if you were to add something in here and you just double click on it, it would add it to that query.
Okay, cool.
Now, what I want to do is I want to go to this columns tab and I want to add something that's already been added to this query. So all I have to do is right click to the right of the last column, or you can hit the plus column button, which is add column. Either way will bring you to this. Now, because article number is a built-in piece of information, you can just check it on. Otherwise, you would have like a user data field or something like that.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to hit OK, and you'll see that it adds this column. Now, the problem with this is that here on this layout tab, it kind of shows me what it's going to look like on that title
Mm.
block that I have predefined. You'll see that it kind of spills over.
Yeah.
Well, let's fix that because the last thing we want to do is like print this out and have to tape on a little extra piece, right?
Yeah.
Make the guys out in the shop
Is
pretty
it
angry.
is it putting that over just paper size or is it looking at the title block itself?
It's looking at the actual title block that you have specified for reports.
Okay.
And you'll see that this green area is like the go area. This is like the good area for you to draw on.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
It's probably your like
our
actual
description field's
paper
pretty
size.
wide. Yeah, that's right. It's based on your title block specifically, and you can see all the behind the scenes attributes and everything too. Now, for columns, I'm going to take this description and it's 9.5. Let's make it, 8.5. So it'll squish it down a little bit.
Okay.
Uh, that gives us a little bit more room, and we can probably make this 8 and even be a little bit better. And then I can check this again in the layout, and you'll see that I fit within that footprint a little bit better.
Okay. I mean, it's a little bit of a weird interface for adjusting it, but I see how it works. I would expect something like, just drag with your cursor, but that works just fine.
Yeah, it is based on the template that you use. So if you were to switch from like an A size sheet to a D size sheet, you'd need to modify these settings.
Okay.
All right, so let's hit apply here, and then let's hit close. And I'm going to close that report. Notice that my report looks exactly the same because I have to regenerate it.
Right. That
Much
makes
like
sense.
rebuilding of a SOLIDWORKS assembly, right? If you change a part, you got to rebuild.
Yeah.
So to do that, I can right click either right here or I can right click over on the report itself, either way. And then we're going to choose this update report drawings.
Okay. And
When you
there
do that,
there is a
go ahead.
rebuild on that right click, but you do update report
Yeah,
drawings, so you're not gonna like delete them and regenerate them or rebuild.
it actually is regenerating them. Yeah. And it's going to just redraw them from scratch,
Oh.
essentially.
So would it be the same as if you deleted them out of the tree and then just regenerate?
Same thing.
Okay. Yeah,
Now,
cool.
notice that we have our article number over here. And if I were to add this to another one, let's say I go to this Allen Bradley switch and I go to its manufacturer part and I go to its article number right here, and I say it's a 123 789. Hit OK. And I'm going to say this component only.
Sure.
And then I'm going to have to redo this one because remember, these reports are snapshots in time.
Mm.
So if you do anything, then you're going to have to uh, update the report drawing.
Okay. That's good to remember because everything else here is not a snapshot in time. Like all the
Correct.
everything else I've seen in the schematic, even the 3D world connection, it's all like real time more than anything else in SolidWorks or PDM really. But these are a snapshot when you generate a report.
Correct.
Okay. And this is pretty sweet. So that comes up immediately. If you wanted to, you could get rid of the OEM part number basically.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now, one thing that you could do is you can have multiple reports. So if you have an internal report that you need to actually give your real part number so that you can order it, that would be really good for procurement and for order entry. Those guys will need to know the real part number so that they can order it. Now, you can also have this bill of material that's customer facing that has the customer
Uh,
facing report and part number on it.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Might as well just have both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whenever you generate the report up here, you can have both of them be generated.
Yeah.
Super handy. Now, sometimes people want to list these reports as one big report rather than by manufacturer. So that's another change that we can do. So let's go to the report here. So I'm going to say edit report configuration again. And when I do
Mm-hmm.
that, this time there's a sort and break. And on this tab, this is where we can specify, you'll see right now it's breaking by the manufacturer. So if I uncheck that, it won't make those big breaks every time it switches manufacturer.
Okay.
This is a really good way that if you're going to list a bill of material, break it down by physical location So all the components in the control box are listed in one place, and it makes a break, and then lists all the components in an auxiliary control box. You can do that as well.
Yeah, and will this spill onto like multiple sheets? So I imagine it's going to
Yep.
get pretty big. Yeah, and then I mean it's super fast. I know you have like a whole like control box here, but how's the performance work? You know, when you've got the massive project like thousands of components, is there a pretty big wait time?
No, it's still pretty quick. I've seen an entire airplane bill of material done in a matter of a couple minutes.
Okay,
So it's still really quick.
okay, excellent. I guess that's some more sequel magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, once I made that change, again, we got to update the report drawing. Notice that it's page 6 and 7 there, and then now we've skipped 7 and we go to 8. So for the rest of this project, you have to skip number 7. Just kidding. Just right click your book and choose that you want to renumber documents, and then we're gonna recalculate anything. We'll hit OK. It says yes, and then now we've reordered
Okay.
everything.
Great. I was gonna say, oh, just like SolidWorks, you know, 'cause you go like, you make a sketch, you delete it, your next sketch is sketch two, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a renumber for everything like that in SolidWorks.
No,
Uh,
and you don't need it in SolidWorks, but if you're talking page numbers, yeah, you might want to renumber.
yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. There must be one on drawings, but I can't ever find it. Just in SolidWorks drawings. Maybe I should say SolidWorks design. You know,
Oh yeah.
yeah. And this, you know what I'm talking about though. And the drawings, like when you delete a sheet and you add another sheet, I just police the
Yep.
numbers, but that button would be, if it's in there, I need to find it.
Yeah. That would be very, very helpful.
Yeah, super.
But notice that this bill of material went from 2 pages to one, which is why we had a number skipped.
Ah,
So we're much more concise because we're not breaking every time it goes to a new manufacturer.
yeah. I mean, that looks way cleaner. This looks way cleaner.
Yeah, for sure.
Where did you choose
And
the title block? So I saw where you were picking like basically your report templates when you generated the
uh-huh.
report, and I imagine the title block maybe that was already defined as when you started the project or something.
Yeah, this part of your project template. So
Okay.
to kind of give you a peek behind the scenes, we can go into our configurations. And if you go to title block here, there's some predefined title blocks for different types of things. One of them is going to be a report, and that's the title block that we're using here.
Okay. Yeah, I follow that now. So if you wanted a total different title block on this project, this is the place you'd change that.
Yeah, for every report, you would make a change here. If you wanted just this report, you would right click on this and go to title block, and then you would replace it.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So sweeping change versus just this one, subtle difference there.
Yeah.
Now let's look at our wires, and this is a wire list. So notice anything missing here in this wire list?
Okay, I don't look at a lot of wire lists, but let's see. You got the wire numbers, which are kind of blank, but where they start and where they go, and then they're usually labeled, right?
Yeah.
Am I getting
So
close?
nailed it.
Okay.
Yeah, you nailed it. Some of these have wire numbers, and that's okay, but let's go number the rest of them. Now, numbering of wires is something that a lot of customers don't do because it's simply time prohibitive. Now, inside at SolidWorks Electrical, that is not time prohibitive because it's pretty much instantaneous. You'll see that we have a couple wires here that already have a number, but most of them don't.
Mm,
And to number these wires, it's very, very difficult. I'm just kidding. It's not that hard.
yeah.
We're going to say number new wires. And this says, are you really sure you want to do this? Yeah,
And you're not
go
modifying
ahead.
any existing ones.
Correct. Now, it numbered all these wires, but I do want to point out that it always puts it in the middle of a wire segment. So you can see that that segment right there is a little bit shorter than that segment, which is a little bit shorter than that segment.
Huh.
So it kind of looks a little bit sloppy. But to clean it up is really easy. You can either box select or control select all these, and then you can right click and say that you want to align texts, which is hard for me to say for some reason. And then you just line them up.
Oh, yeah, that's clean. I don't mind the idea in the
But
middle though. That's kind of cool to think about length. And then the way that it numbered them, is that also a configuration thing? Like L2 dash
yeah,
2? Okay.
Yeah, great question. So here on the configuration, that's based on the specific wire style. So if I were to go into like one of these, you'll see that there's this phase one, and that's the each one of these phases inside of it. you'll see that there's an equipotential numbering schema here.
Mm.
And so if I go to the properties of this, it says L1 in text and then a number. So this is based on the variables that you're using to define this wire number. So you could have page number as part of it, or color, or
Yeah,
gauge,
whatever you want.
whatever you want.
Yeah,
Yep.
cool. Okay.
And so these have L1, L2, L3 because they're part of a what we call a multi-style group, but it's just phase one, phase two, and phase three.
Cool.
And then now what I want to do is I want to add that because you definitely caught me. You redlined this. We've needed our wire numbers. So I'm going to right click on this and choose update report drawings again. And it's going to update all of our wire numbers into this report. And so now you'll see each one of them that need a wire number have them.
Okay.
Now, the lengths are already here, but what if you wanted a total of the 24-volt style? Well, that's going to be a change in the report. So I'm going to go edit this report configuration.
Total amount
You
of.
think it'd be handy, right, to know how much of each wire type you need.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if this is like going to be like an equation or
Yeah. So here on calculate sum, I'm just going to check that box. Now, if that
okay.
box is not there, I do want to point out that here in this content, you have to have this checked. It says can sum the content of merged cells. If this is not checked, then that box will be missing.
All right.
So
Check the
the
box.
reason, yeah, it's real easy. Just check the box. But if you don't know where the box is, then
Yeah.
it's tough to check it. I will say that that's a number one thing that I see on report. People like want the total length, but that has not been checked. So make sure that that is checked.
Okay.
So now we're going to calculate the sum. You can see this row has that checked. And this wire length by default, you'll see it's going to trim this wire length, and then we're going to sum it up. I'm going to hit apply here, and then I'm going to hit close. Now, again, we made a change, so we got to update our report configuration or update our drawing. And when I do that, you'll now see a total length for each style.
Okay.
So now we have a cut length. So not only do we have a length from CR1 to S1 at 1600 millimeters, so just over 1.5 meters, we now can total up the total length of that style.
Yeah, so we only need to buy 7 meters and 33.23 millimeters of wire exactly. And if
Exactly.
any more is
Everything to fit.
yeah. I want to
Correct.
like a factory
Yeah.
safety variable in there. I guess they could do that. I'm gonna be like a
Yeah.
times 10%.
That's exactly right. So that's something that I would always do. I would go in here to this report configuration, and you can round because these links are, as you saw it, right on the money. When you hit this formula button, there's some functions that you can do over here, some mathematical functions, and I
Ah,
would always round it up.
yeah.
So round it up, and then you can even add 10%, by multiplying. And I would take that, and that's exactly what I would do. I'd round up to the next whole number. I would multiply by 10% or whatever percent you think is good. And that's what I would always do. That way, there's some built-in fluff.
Yeah, yeah, okay. That makes sense to me. That's where I was wondering about the what kind of math they could do. Yeah, that's really cool.
And it's like sheet metal. You can hold down to eight decimal places when bending a piece of sheet metal, right?
Yeah. I don't know what these guys think when they, on a mechanical drawing, you put in extra decimal places, you're putting in extra dollars. So
Yeah.
I don't know if the accuracy's like that over here.
No, you definitely would not want to find the thousandth of a millimeter for the length of a wire.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome though. And I mean, I've seen it on the 3D side, that's one of the things that I'll show off, when I'm working on the routing side, the mechanical side of things, is that you can move something, rebuild, and see these lengths change immediately. So that's the
Mhm.
information that's getting fed back. Everything else here basically comes from the 2D side except for the length, huh?
That's correct. And whenever you move something in 3D, just move it and then rebuild, let it move, and then you'll have to come back here and you'll have to update this report because remember, it's a
Sure.
snapshot in time.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, that's
And
awesome.
the one thing I like to do whenever I have a bunch of reports is I like to add a new folder. And this just keeps my project tidy. Reports is a good folder name for it. And then just dump it all in that reports folder like so. Just like your feature tree inside of SOLIDWORKS, keep your tree nice and tidy inside electrical as well.
Yeah. Now, I guess these are snapshots. Are you always doing them at almost the end of a project, or do you kick them off early and then regenerate as needed?
Yeah, it kind of depends on need. If someone needs a bill of material, I'll generate one real quick. And if you were to export this, so say that I export this to PDF, when I do that, let's say I take this and I say that we're going to dump it in there. That's a good place, documents.
Yeah, I guess.
And then whenever I hit export, it's even going to ask you, hey, you've modified this project, whether you've modified it or not. It'll always say it's
Oh,
modified.
okay.
Do you want to update the tables? Or do you want to say, hey, I've already done it. I know that they're good. So if you choose this top option, it's actually going to rebuild every
Every
report
report.
inside this project.
That's nice. So it just
Yeah.
prevents you from having some old snapshot every time. It's like, hey, you could just get latest data.
Correct. And there is a do not show this again, so just be careful with that. It's very similar to the options inside SolidWorks. So
Yeah.
if you say continue without, then it's going to go ahead and knock out creating a PDF, and then everything is available inside said PDF. Now, you've seen one of these PDFs before, right?
You know, dude, I don't think I have.
Well, on the right-hand side, you have
I mean,
your
I've seen
there's
Adobe, but I haven't
bookmarks.
seen the electrical reports.
Yeah. Everybody's got Adobe installed, right? So there's no magic. Now, inside Electrical, you have your document browser and then you have your components browser.
Uh-huh.
The documents browser is broken down by book and page, and then the components browser is broken down by physical location inside this project.
Right. Like in
This is that
SolidWorks, you get
first,
those on the left side and right side.
correct.
Okay.
This is that first step into integrating the mechanical side into the 2D side because these locations match the assemblies inside of 3D.
Hmm.
And then you get those same things inside of this report. So this PDF has the documents browser with the book and all the pages, including our reports folder. And then if I click on the list of wires, you'll see all those list of wires. And then the components browser contains that same information, and I can go directly to our motor.
Yeah, that's so
And it's
nice.
just off the page a little bit.
Yeah, it's just zoomed in.
Yep.
That's so nice. And this is
And then
free. This is your free Adobe viewer, right?
yeah, I mean, you probably have a device that you're either on or right next to you or in your pocket that can read this, which means you don't have to have a special reader for the output of SolidWorks Electrical.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nothing else here is hyperlinked though, is it? Like if you're on your bill of materials or list of wires, or I guess bill of
Yeah, if we go
materials.
to our,
Oh, shoot, it
yeah,
is?
check that out. Yeah, so check that out. This S2 is linked, and you can click that and you can jump over. The list of wires is linked, and you can jump over. The same thing with origin destination arrows. You can jump through those as well.
Dude, that's so nice. Yeah,
So it's super handy output type from electrical.
yeah. I just wish we could do more on the SolidWorks side. Just when you have an exploded view of an assembly and you have like the bill of materials there. Like it works, it's cool with like 3D PDF, e-drawings is cool, but it actually doesn't do that much. Like you can't link it, it doesn't have that reference there. That's cool.
Be cool to jump through it in an explode view. You're right.
Right? Yeah. Or if you just had like a multi-sheet drawing, you know, and sometimes I have multiple bill of materials like that, you know, if it hyperlinked at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, I'm pretty impressed. This is a lot more functionality than I expected when you were like, "Oh, I need to show some reports." Let me show you what they could do. That's pretty
Yeah.
impressive and how much is out of the box. You got any other, I don't know, hot tips and tricks on these that you want to show off?
I would recommend that you customize these reports and save them. And you that's those green reports that you saw that were project specific.
Yep.
So don't make the changes every time, just like a table template inside of a SOLIDWORKS drawing. Make sure that you create a report template for yourself inside of electrical.
Okay. And then you're saving it basically anywhere. Or it doesn't get like archived in a electrical file. You can just save it in PDM or save it wherever.
You can save it wherever, but by default, it saves into the SQL environment. So all these projects live on the server. They don't truly live on your machine. So the same thing holds true for that report.
Okay. Cool. Dude, that's awesome. Well, man, I appreciate the time. Thanks for showing me this. I know we jumped from the last time when you were doing a webinar for to like licensing stuff now until like the tail end of a project. So maybe if we work some electrical again together, we could look at the middle section there, make a schematic, and then of course for me like, routing wires and stuff. But yeah, I really appreciate you showing me this today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we need to look at that next time. The 2D and electrical, 2D and 3D electrical integration.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. All right, we'll set something up.
All right.
All right, thanks,
See you
man.
next time.